Welcome to this deep dive. You probably heard for years that the world is terribly overcrowded. But what if our biggest future challenge isn't overpopulation, but actually running out of people?
It's a completely counterintuitive thought,
Yeah,
Rue.
completely. Today's mission is to explore the book After the Spike by economists Dean Spears and Michael Geruso. Drawing from their work at the White House and nonprofits in India, they present this staggering data showing humanity is on the brink of global, irreversible depopulation.
And irreversible really is the key word there.
Right. Okay, let's unpack this because the numbers they're fascinating.
What's fascinating here is the math of 2.0. To just maintain our global population over the long run, we need an average of 2 kids per 2 adults, and we are dropping below that replacement rate everywhere.
Everywhere. So it's not just a slow, manageable plateau.
No, it triggers compounding decline. The authors share the story of Seema, who is a nurse in India. Now, she comes from a family of 8, but she only wants 1 child.
Wow, from 8 to 1.
Exactly. And that tiny statistical shift from a 2.0 average down to, say, 1.9, it means exponential population decay over time. The future workforce basically cuts in half every few decades.
That is just wild to think about. And this actually leads to a really wild demographic quirk called the Amish math paradox.
Oh, yeah, the Amish math. That's a great point.
I'm not going to fully explain it now, but definitely look into how extreme fertility enclaves interact with this data later. It is mind-blowing.
It really is.
But here's where it gets really interesting for me. Back in 1968, there was this famous book called The Population Bomb, and it predicted mass starvation if the global population kept growing.
Right. The assumption was more people equals, total environmental collapse.
Exactly. But instead, thanks to human innovation, kids in places like India are actually taller and better fed today, despite the massive population growth.
Because human progress relies on having enough people. Depopulation won't magically solve climate change. The authors are very clear that only active decarbonization will do that.
So fewer people doesn't mean a greener planet by default.
No, in fact, it might hurt us. If we connect this to the bigger picture, huge breakthroughs like mRNA vaccines or those specialized kangaroo mother care wards for premature babies.
Which happens to be where Seema the nurse works.
Right, exactly. Things like that require massive interconnected populations to share the fixed costs of innovation. Setting up that care and funding medical equipment is incredibly expensive.
So you need billions of people globally to make highly specialized, expensive medical research economically viable.
Precisely. A shrinking population means fewer minds working on big solutions and a much smaller tax base to share the cost, which touches on a mind-bending philosophical concept regarding human happiness called the repugnant conclusion.
Oh man, the repugnant conclusion. I highly recommend Googling that one. It's a deep rabbit hole about quality versus quantity of life.
It really is.
So what does this all mean for us? Ultimately, it means that avoiding a shrinking world requires us to actively make parenting easier and better supported for everyone without any coercion.
Right, lifting those structural burdens. But this raises an important question for everyone listening. How does a shrinking world impact you directly?
Think about your favorite, highly specific niche hobby or maybe a rare medical treatment. If the global population eventually shrinks by half, does the complex human infrastructure required to support your specific passion even exist anymore? Definitely something to explore on your own.